Hey lovelies, welcome back to the channel. So today's tutorial is basically on how to make an agbada. So the size of this agbada is for a year old. So if you are interested in this, please keep watching and please remember to subscribe to the channel. So I have my clothes folded in two like this. So I'm going to just be leaving out the measurement I'm going to be using for this. So actually I wrote them on the paper, but I think it's not clear enough, so I'm going to be leaving them out. So what I'm just going to be needing for this is just the length of the agbada, then the measurement from the wrist, that is from where you have your wristwatch to the other parts where you have your wristwatch. So it's going to be over the shoulder. I hope that is clear actually. So it's going to be from the wrist over to the shoulder bone, then take it back to the neck, and then down back to the second wrist, so that the agbada can fall well. Alright, so I'm going to be leaving that aside now, and I'll be working on how my fabric was folded. So I folded this fabric into two at first, because as you can see it is for a baby, so the length like this will be perfect. So I folded it into two like this over each other. So after I'm done with that, now I'm just going to go ahead and fold like this. So what I'm going to be folding by is the wideness of the agbada, that is the shoulder to the shoulder, or from the wrist to the wrist I showed us earlier. So I'm going to be dividing that by 4. So that is what I'm going to be using to fold my fabric. So another thing I want us to know is that after that shoulder to shoulder measurement that I asked us to take, we're going to go ahead to add extra 3-inch allowance to this. So if it is for an adult you're making for, you can go ahead and add 4-inch, but because it is just a little child, it is just 1 year old, so I'll be adding 3 inches. So this 3 inches is going to be used to fold the arm part of this. So your folding must not be too tiny and it must not be too big, so I'm going to be using 3 inches for that. And for the length, I'm going to be adding 3 inches because I'm going to have a folding under that as well. So let's just go ahead and fold our fabric now to the size that we're going to be needing. So here I have folded my fabric. Remember, this fabric is now on a fold of 4, so that you not make a mistake. You know, and your agbada will not have any joining on the shoulder, except you want to just design your star way. But normally your agbada should not have a joining on the shoulder. Alright, so I folded my fabric. Go ahead and fold yours using the measurements you needed, and then don't forget to add the 3 inches we're going to be needing. Also the length, don't forget to add 3 inches to the length you want for this. So I'm just adjusting my fabric so that I have the perfect size I need. Please make sure your fabric are also balanced when doing this, because this is very key and you need to work on it well. So I have my fabric folded already. Now what I'm going to be checking out now is the length of this. So here is me confirming if what I have up is what I have down, so that it can form a complete straight line. So please take your time to do this as well, so that you don't have your agbada looking weird after you are done. This is the key process of it, because agbada does not really have much on it. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'll be taking the length of my agbada. So the length of this agbada is actually 23 inches, because the child is a bit tall. So he's a bit tall, although he's a year old, but he's tall. So I'm going to be taking that measurement. So you can go ahead and confirm where you want the length of your agbada to get to, but for me this is what I'm going to be working with. So this differs. It can be more than, and it can be shorter than, depending on the stature of your baby, of the baby you are making for. So I'll connect the length like this. So take note that this is just the length without an allowance. So I'll be drawing out the allowance rather, so that this is understandable. So here is the real measurement, the real length of the baby. Now I'm going to be adding my folding allowance. So just go ahead and add 3 inches as your folding allowance. So I'll mark my 3 inches randomly like this as well. Then I'll go ahead and connect this with my ruler too. So guys, I hope you've connected yours as well. So this is what I had after I was connecting. Now I'll be cutting it out. Remember to leave 3 inches allowance after you folded your fabric in the side as well, so that you use it to fold the side pattern. Remember that the Agbada hand is going to have a folding, so go ahead and add yours. Do not add to the length alone, add 3 inches. So what I just did was I just added the allowance together with the folding. So what I folded there is my shoulder to shoulder, or the wrist to the wrist, plus 3 inches. Then for the length I added 3 inches. I hope that is really clear, guys. So just carefully cut this out now. So take your time while cutting so that you don't cut it wrongly. So guys, this is how I will have it. I'm done cutting this. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'll go ahead to notch where I have the two shoulder, that is the front shoulder and the back shoulder. So I'm just going to show us how I'm going to be notching it. So where you have your two opening there, go ahead and notch it so that the first one will serve as your shoulder and the second one will serve as your shoulder as well. So the next thing we're going to be doing is working on the embroidery. Sorry guys. So here I already took my fabric to the people that make embroideries on clothes. So I told them the size I wanted, and then I told them it was for a baby, so they know what to do already when you give this to them. So yeah, I'll just be showing us basically how I folded this. So yeah, you need to iron. So the 3 inches I added on the side, and then the one I added on the length, I went ahead to iron it out. So I ironed into two first, then I ironed over. So I have 3 lines here. So my 3 inches has been divided into 1 inch, which I'm going to be using to fold this. So I'm going to be folding exactly the way you see me doing there. So the main reason why I went ahead to use my iron first is because I want this to come out as good as possible, so that I don't have one part looking longer, one part looking shorter. I want to have a perfect, I want it to be perfectly sewn when I'm done. I hope that is clear. So pardon me guys. So I'm just basically showing us what it looks like. So go ahead and take your time to iron this. Remember, it is the 3 inches that I went ahead to iron. So I ironed the 3 inches over, then in between that I had a line in the center as well. So this will make your work easier. Now I'm going to be starting with the down part of this. So for the down part, the opening actually depends on you. For this baby, I'm just going to be opening it by 5 inches. So already you know I added 3 inches allowance, which I want to use for my folding. So plus the extra 5 inches I want to use for folding, that will make it 8 inches. So from this part now, from this side, I'm just going to go ahead to mark my 8 inches. Remember, it is 3 inches for folding plus 5 inches I'm going to be using for the opening. Then I'll do that for the right side, then I'll turn it to the left side as well and do the same thing. So I'll be measuring that same 8 inches, so 5 inches plus 3 inches for the opening, so that the leg of the baby is not too tight and the agbada is comfortable for the baby to move in. So I'll just be using this. So I'll mark that to my 8 inch, and I'll be working on the folding the down part first. So this is because if you fold the hands part first, you have your allowance showing in between, which will not really make sense. So here now I'll be showing us how I'm going to be working on the down part of this first. So there is my 8 inch for the left, and then here is my 8 inches for the right. Now these lines I went ahead to iron will serve as a guide for me while sewing. So I'll go ahead and place this piece together like this. So the front piece and the back piece, I'll align them together. So after aligning them, I'll find out that the last line I have is going to be the one I'm going to be sewing on. So this is the main reason why you need to iron. So I'll go ahead and sew this down now with my 8 inch allowance I created. So I just want us to see this clearly so that it is easier for us when we're making ours as well. So go ahead and sew on that line. Remember, it's the last line, and then the length of this is just 8 inches. So once I get to where my 8 inches is, I'll just go ahead and stop. So make sure you have this on a straight line. Remember to sew on the line you ironed. So this is the last line I have there. So I'm going to be stopping where I have my chalk, where I marked. Then I'll make my reverse right there. Now I'll trim out the thread, and I'll repeat the same process for the other side before I go ahead and start folding the down part of this. So I'm going to be doing this for this side as well. Make sure they're touching each other like this, and then on that last line I have too, I'm going to sew. So this is going to be easier as well. So take your time to do this. So since I have this line on the front and the back piece, that means the line I'm sewing is what I'm also sewing for the back piece, because I have this already on a straight line because I've already ironed it out. So I'll cut this out as well. So I have the 2 openings soon. Now I'm going to be folding it. Now please pay attention to how I'm going to be folding these guys. So I'm going to be using that 3 inches I ironed now for my folding, but before I do that, I would like to show us what it looks like. So this is what the down part looks like. So this is the little opening I created, and that is the part I went ahead to sew. So all this will come together in a bit. So this is where the child's legs is going to be coming out from. So this is how wide I want it to be, because it's just a year old. Then that part I'm going to be closing it up. Pardon me guys. So guys, now I'll be showing us this part now. So I already went ahead to fold the down part. So what I just did was I folded those allowance I had over each other. So remember that the line I have helped me while sewing that. So I'll be showing us what the down part looks like after I was done folding. So I'll just turn this over now and show us. Now for this side, this will be the side. So I'm going to be folding it the same way I folded the down part. So this is where I folded the down part. So you can see that the iron will really be helpful. So after I was done folding the down part, now I'll be folding the sides, so that the 2 sides. Now I'm going to be folding it like this, and I'll be sewing on the tip of this. So I'll take this round on the left side of the hand and then on the right side of the hand. So please go ahead and iron yours. Don't skip this process, because it is really helpful, so that you have a very nice stitch and then you have straight lines. So I'll repeat this for the left and the right now, and I'll be back to show us what it actually looks like. So this is going to be the process of me stitching that side. So I'll be showing us how I'm going to be working on that. So this is what I was actually saying, so that this stitch will not be outside. So this stitch now are going to be inside, because I'm going to be using the allowance to cover it up. So just pay attention and see how I'm going to be doing this part. So just first do this like this. Then here now I'll open up that stitch like this, as you can see me doing. So this is what I had from folding the down part of this. So I make sure both sides fall on each side like this. So I'll fold it in like this. So guys, please be careful and watch how I'm going to be folding this. So I'll fold this in like this rather. So I'm going to be using that to stitch this down, so that I don't have it moving here and there. So I'll just go ahead and fold this over till I'm done. So you can see the way I'm folding this part in. So go ahead and keep folding until you are finally done with the both sides of this. So you want to take your time while doing this, because this is really the key part, and then this is part that is going to be visible. So make sure that the clothes are not folding on each other. So make sure you use your hand to straighten out the fabric like this. Then you give this stitch here, right here, on that line you folded, so that you can have a straight line. Remember that these stitches are going to be showing on the other side, so you want to make sure they are as straight as possible. Alright guys, so this is what I had after I was done. So this is the side stitch also. As you can see, it looks so neat and beautiful, and then I've not ironed this apart from the way I just folded it over. So ironing this will actually be easier because I have straight lines already. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go ahead to iron this. So I'll be showing us the length of this after I was done. So what I just used to fold is just the 3 inches I added on the sides. So that's the wrist to wrist, that's the measurement. Then this is the length. So guys, if you find this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel, and if you're already a subscriber, please remember to turn on your notification bell so that you get notified when I post a new video. Also, I'll be showing us how this agbada was rocked. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to be showing us how to make a senator wear and also a short to go along with this agbada. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in my next one.